Journalism, which was supposed to be the fourth pillar of democracy, is seen to be dying down. Why? Because a handful of conglomerates actually own the majority of the TV channels or news channels specifically that are there. However, in such a scenario, when such drastic statements are made, there is a ray of hope, and that is the Pulitzer Prize, which has been given to two Indian nationals. Yes, so two Indian nationals have actually won the Pulitzer Prize. Now, this Pulitzer Prize is given in 23 different categories, and they have won in photography and investigative journalism. Yes, so investigative journalism is still existing. Not just that, these are Indians who have won the prize. So probably the fourth pillar has some ray of hope. So in this lecture, we will discuss about the Pulitzer Prize, what this is, what all does it try to reward. At the same time, who are these Indian, or who is this Indian duo who have won the prize, and for what have they won the prize? What is that they have achieved? At the same time, we will look at other facts that are absolutely important for your prelims exam. So let's get started with the news. So the news is about the Pulitzer Prize being won by two Indians. Now, who are these winners of 2026? These are the winners. As you can see, Mr. Anand RK, who is the illustrator. I'll explain what that means. And Suparna Sharma, who is the investigative journalist. So Suparna Sharma, she is the one who did the investigative journalist work, and that investigative journalism was given, you can say, attractiveness or meaning or visuals by Mr. Anand RK, who is an illustrator who presented her investigative journalist story or the reality through his illustrations in the form of like a comic illustration, as you may see. Now, they are the ones who have won, along with Natalie, Obiko. Pearson is also involved over here. Now, what is the category in which they won the prize? The category is illustrated reporting and commentary. So it's not just the comic strip or the illustration and the visuals, but illustrated reporting of what? Reporting of news, which is nothing but journalism, and giving your own commentary analysis on top of that. This is on what they have won the prize, and these are the people who have won that. Now let us understand what is this Pulitzer Prize altogether. The Pulitzer Prize was established in 1917, so it has been over 100 years now. It is administered and given by the Columbian University or Columbia University. This Columbia University is in the United States of America. Please remember that. So this prize is coming from United States of America. Now, what does it recognize? It recognizes excellence in literature, music, as well as journalism. Journalism means reporting the news, and it is considered one of the highest global honors in public service journalism, right? So this is about the award. Now let's understand the award winning work. So what is the name of this award winning work? It is named Trapped. Now this award winning work was published by the publishing house Bloomberg. What was the nature of this publishment? The graphic storytelling plus investigative journalism. As I told you, the theme of this was what? See, a lot of people are being trapped in the digital frauds that are there. So the theme was digital fraud ecosystem in South Asia, not just in India, but the entire South Asia. The highlight was what? Combining visuals, as we have seen of the illustrator, with data driven reporting, as we have seen by the journalist. So this is what has been done. What was the core issue here? The core issue was the digital arrest scam. So your laptop, mobile phone and all will be frozen, will be freezed, and you will be trapped digitally, you will be arrested digitally. If you want to recover the excess of your laptop or mobile, you would be asked to pay certain amount. And on your laptop are sensitive information, commercial information, your personal information, personal photographs, videos, etc. So you are in a digital arrest. These people have worked on that. Now, victim here, the Indian neurologist. What was the modus operandi? Basically, what was the agenda of work is what we are talking about. The agenda was the fake law enforcement threats. There would be fake law enforcement threats also, because people portraying themselves as law enforcement officers. Then the psychological pressure of the digital arrest, psychological pressure, because if there's a commercial loss, you may still bear it probably, which is again not good, but the personal loss, your photographs, your videos, so it is a psychological personal pressure on the person as well. And of course the financial extortion via the online channels that are there. It basically reflects the rising cybercrime sophistication, means the rising cybercrime complexity which is there. So the perpetrators are also designing crimes which are sophisticated and a lot of complexity involved. So you also feel that as if like the people dressing up as law enforcement officers and giving you a video call, making you think that they are actually law enforcement officers. So even the perpetrators are taking the trouble of purchasing or making that kind of uniform, sitting like that in that surrounding, and then calling you. They are going for a very long trouble to actually scam you. That is what sophistication here is. Now, what is the significance of the work? It is basically public service journalism, journalism done for the betterment of public. Like the PIL is there, public interest litigation can be filed in the Supreme Court. In the same manner, for the benefit of the public, this is being done. Exposes the cybercrime network that is there. What is the relevance in policy? Basically, need for stronger cyber law. They have made a very strong point for having a stronger cyber law, and of course it creates awareness, highlights vulnerability of even the educated, in fact more so the educated individuals, because they are the one with access to technology, laptop and banking accounts, money, digital transactions, so on and so forth. So even they are victims of this. Now, what are the other key works? Other key works and the prizes that have been won by them, so you can remember it for your prelims. So this is the prelims fact which I wanted you to remember. For public service, the Washington Post, this is a newspaper, this is a basically a newspaper outlet. The Washington Post have got it for public service. For investigative reporting, the New York Times has also got it. Breaking news, Minnesota Star Tribune, and international reporting, Associated Press has got it for international reporting. Factually, you should remember them. And if you talk about the art and literature awards, there are awards in fiction won by Daniel Krauss for Angel Dawn. There is another for the drama won by Bess Wohl for the work that is Liberation. So facts are there. Please remember them for your prelims. History related, Jill Lepore, We the People, and for biography, Amanda Whale. Right. Now, coming back to our major news, that is with respect to the investigative journalism, what is the trend presently? Of course, as I said, a lot of majority of the news channels owned by handful of conglomerates, but that has given rise to another thing. What is that? Independent journalism, wherein people are getting out of the news channel ecosystem, creating their own news channel, own not news channel as such, but at least social media channels, YouTube channels, and doing their own investigative journalism, right? Coming on the field, or at least doing research over the internet and all that stuff, and doing independent journalism, not being tied to any particular conglomerates. So that kind of journalism is on the rise. So here, recognition of freelancers and independent voices are happening. Examples, Sahir Algora, who covered the Gaza, or the ethnic cleansing, you may call it genocide is the term for that, which was happening in Gaza. Yael Groer, international reporting is what is done by them. And what are the implication of this? The implication are basically positive things is going to happen because of independent journalism, democratization of media space, different multifaceted and varying voices will be heard, voices will be raised, and it will not be a monotonous uniform or a single perspective. Multiple perspectives you will get, which will reduce the monopoly of the big media houses, which I mentioned in the beginning itself. So it is a moment of pride, and at the same time good news for the democratic nature of the media and the rise of investigative journalism, which democratizes the country, which helps people to create awareness and raise their voices so that it can be heard. Thank you.